welcome to the very first episode of the cooking segment of the Sassy Food Diva. My name is Neetu Edison. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and since we are in the Middle East, I thought let's make a dish that's close to the hearts of the Middle Eastern people, the shakshuka. It's originally a dish that is from Israel, but it's getting very, very popular here in the Middle East. So without any further delay, let's find out how to make the shakshuka, shall we? The two main ingredients of the shakshuka are eggs as well as tomatoes. You need to have at least a minimum of 4 eggs, which is what I'm using, but if you have more family members, increase the quantity to 5, 6 or even more. We've got a cup of freshly cubed tomatoes here as well, and along with that, tomato paste, approximately 2 tablespoons. The rest of the ingredients are a cup of finely chopped onions. We're going to have an Indian touch to this. We're going to add some cumin seeds, also called jeera, turmeric powder, some dry red chili flakes. I've just basically pounded up a whole red chili and just got that. And some garam masala or allspice powder. So garam masala is something that we normally make at home, if you're in India of course. Otherwise you get this easily available at any of your grocery stores. In addition to that, something that I'm going to be adding is one of my all-time favorite ingredients, cheese. So I've used here mozzarella cheese, but go ahead, you can add Parmesan cheese, cheddar cheese, be my guest. You can be as innovative as you possibly want to. If you don't want to add cheese, that's also perfectly alright, you don't need to. And finally, of course, for the embellishments, we have a few coriander leaves. Without any further ado, let's get started, shall we? Normally a shakshuka is made in a traditional iron skillet. So here we don't have an iron skillet, we have to improvise. I've just used a nice wide non-stick pan. It's always nice to use a wide non-stick pan. It gives you more space to put in your eggs and poach them and things like that. So we just wait for the pan to get a little hot, and I think it already is. So what we'll be doing is starting off by using olive oil. It's not necessary you have to use only olive oil, you can use vegetable oil as well, or you can even use a combination of olive oil as well as vegetable oil. So here we're just going to use olive oil, alright? So maybe a tablespoon and a half of olive oil should actually do the trick. Just enough oil to get all your ingredients sauteed, the onions and the tomatoes and things like that. Okay, so that's maybe a tablespoon and a half. Circle it around there. And voila. So we just wait for that to get hot. It's now time to pop in the onions. So I've got my cup of onions here. Just put them in there. Okay. So the whole idea is to actually saute the onions till they become golden brown, and they lose that raw smell. Our onions have gotten sauteed nicely. Maybe about 2 to 3 minutes actually did the trick. So they become slowly golden brown. So here I'm going to add a bit of salt as well as pepper. So you get both the seasoning and simultaneously basically. You can always add a little more salt if you want at the very end, but for the moment we're just going to add a little bit. The whole idea is to get the onions cooked faster. The onions have gotten nicely sauteed. It was in the pan for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and now as you can see it's become golden brown. There we are. We have our onions. So now that that's done, what we're going to do is we're going to add all our spices. So we'll start off with the turmeric powder. So I'm just going to add maybe half a teaspoon of turmeric powder. Remember that when you add the spices, always reduce the heat because spices, they easily get burnt. I'm also going to add maybe half a teaspoon of cumin seeds. You can use powdered cumin. For me, I just personally like biting into cumin seeds, and that's just me. So I'm just going to use a fresh cumin. Just mix them up slowly. There we are. The color's changing there. So now that we've done that, it's time to go for some more of the richer spices. So we're going to go ahead and add some dried red chilies. Now, chili flakes, basically, it's totally up to you. Alright, if you don't want to add chili flakes because you don't like spicy, don't add chili flakes. Instead, you can add a teaspoon of sugar. For me, I want spice in everything that I eat. So I'm just going to go ahead and add maybe about a teaspoon of chili flakes. If you think a teaspoon is too much, half a teaspoon should also do the trick. So there we have the chili flakes. Yeah, the aroma is pretty strong right now. So there we are. When you add spices in, it normally doesn't take too much time to cook. So that's already done. So the final finishing touch is the garam masala or the allspice powder. The garam masala, maybe approximately a teaspoon again, should do the trick. So like I said, it's a combination of cinnamon and nutmeg and cloves and cumin seeds and things like that. So you can actually make the garam masala. I mean, what we normally do as Indians is we make the garam masala at home. But go ahead and you can buy it at your local grocery store. It's pretty good as well. So now that we've added all our spices into it, and the spices are sufficiently cooked because the aroma is just completely overpowering, what we're going to do is, we're going to go ahead and add our main ingredients, the star of the event, if you want to call it that way, the tomatoes. Just one final stir. We've got a whole bowl of tomatoes here. Oh, look at that succulent tomatoes. It's just amazing. Look at the color, you know, how it's just changed. It was brown and kind of dull initially. Once the tomatoes have come in, it's sort of given life all of a sudden, you know. There we are. The tomatoes, the whole idea is to actually get cooked in and mashed and to become a thick pulp. So that should take approximately maybe 5 to 7 minutes. But before we actually get it properly cooking, I'm going to give it a proper stir so that all of the spices are incorporated into it. And not to forget, we have our tomato paste as well. So we're just going to go ahead and add maybe 2 teaspoons. I don't want to add too much of tomato paste because sometimes it can give a ketchupy taste, which I personally don't like. I know this dish probably looks like a tomato overdose, but trust me, it's going to be so worth it in the end because it's just a beautiful combination of the tanginess of the tomatoes and the spiciness of all the powders that we've added and the creaminess of the cheese, and of course, you can never go wrong with eggs. We've actually incorporated all of our ingredients here, all of the main ingredients anyway. We've still not added the most important ingredient, which is the eggs, but that's going to be right at the end and I'll show you how. For the moment, the intention is that tomatoes need to get nicely pulped up. So for that, what we're going to do is we have to cook them up for a minimum of maybe 5 to 7 minutes. Close up the pot and I shall see you back in about 7 minutes, okay? So they become nice and thick just the way I wanted them to be. What we're going to do is now it's time to add the final finishing touches, which is our eggs, and not to forget of course the mozzarella cheese. I haven't forgotten about that. That will be right at the very end. For the moment I'm just getting this ready so that we can add in our eggs. So what I'm going to do is I'll just put them all together, our tomato paste. And now what we'll do is we need to crack the eggs into this tomato paste. What's going to happen is the eggs are going to get poached in this tomato gravy. Alright, so for that I've got my 4 eggs here, okay, and I prefer to crack them in the bowl first just to get that perfect shape. There we are. Or you can actually create 4 wells just to make things easier. Remember to space out the wells as well properly inside your tomato paste because the eggs need sufficient place to actually cook. So we're just going to drop 1 egg into each well. Okay, there we are. Repeat that with all of our other eggs. Drop them into that little well that we so lovingly created for them. But definitely not the least, the final egg. There are 3 ways of actually cooking these eggs. You can either have them extremely runny, you can have them mildly runny, or you can have them extremely poached where the yolks are very, very hard. In my case, I prefer to go with the second option wherein the eggs are mildly runny. So for that purpose, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to close up my pan and I'm going to wait for maybe another 5 minutes. 5 minutes should actually do the trick. By then what's going to happen is the egg yolks will become nice and firm. No, sorry, the egg whites will become nice and firm while the egg yolks become nice and runny. Alright, so I'll see you back here in 5 minutes. It's time for the great unveiling. Our eggs have properly cooked. It's been 5 minutes, so we're going to open it up without any further ado. Alright, so there we are. Man, it's just perfect because the egg whites have cooked in properly. As you can see, they've spread out, which is why I told you that you need to have even spacing between all the 4 eggs. They're not too hard as well because the egg yolks are perfect, just mildly runny, or so I believe. So I've got some mozzarella cheese here. Just gonna happily spread that across. You can add as much or as little of the mozzarella cheese as you possibly want to. Because I just love it cheesy, I'm just gonna add to my heart's content. Just cover up all the nooks and crannies, I think, just to make it look even more pretty. And there you have it. I'm gonna close it up. I'm gonna switch off the flame, and I'll see you back here in 5 minutes when it's time to serve. Shakshuka is finally ready, and trust me, I cannot wait to dig in. So, now, if that is not cheesy heaven, what is, yeah? Let's take it out from here. It's hot, 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 hot. Alrighty. And now it's time for the finishing touches to be added, which was our coriander leaves. I'm just gonna add a few, maybe here and there. A little bit of green. Never did anyone any harm, did it? Okay, and now what we're gonna do is, we're gonna show you how it's gonna look when it's served, alright? So I've got my little plate there. Just take out one little egg. Push in there. Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. Okay, and I'm just like a little child. Yeah. There you have it. I mean, you want pizza, you want eggs, you want cheese. It's got everything in there. I mean, what does it possibly not have, right? Let's find out how it is, okay? It is amazing. Seriously, it's amazing. Trust me. I mean, you can't go wrong with this dish here. You've got all that cheese, all that egg, all those tomatoes. I have to have one more bite. This time with the egg in it. I'm gonna keep eating, and you have to stop looking. And what you're gonna do right now is go and try this dish right now. Alright? Seriously, you will not regret it. So until I see you next time with yet another episode, this is Neetu Edison signing off. Stay tuned, take care, don't do anything that I wouldn't do, and have a great week ahead, okay? Bye!